Welcome to the Deep Dive.
All right. Welcome to another Deep Dive. You know, we love digging into thought-provoking stuff, and today we're all about women's empowerment, specifically through the lens of some really powerful quotes.
Quotes that really pack a punch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you were particularly drawn to one by Ayn Rand, right?
Yeah, her work always gets people talking.
It does. And this quote is no exception. It's bold. It's defiant. It's pure Ayn Rand.
Yeah, she doesn't hold back.
Okay, so the quote is, "The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me." What jumps out at you right away?
Well, I think it just boils down that unapologetic self-reliance she's so famous for,
Yeah.
That core of her whole philosophy, objectivism, like she's saying, forget limitations, I decide my own path.
And that's so relevant to women's empowerment, right? Think about it. Throughout history, women have constantly been told what they can and cannot do.
Absolutely.
This quote is like a total rejection of that. It's like saying, I'm breaking free from those chains.
It totally is. And for Rand, true empowerment came from understanding your own power, like throwing off those expectations that society tries to impose.
And let's not forget the context here. Early to mid-20th century. A woman making such a bold statement, that was radical.
Oh, absolutely. To really get the full impact of it, we need to dig a bit deeper into her philosophy. I mean, she was all about rational self-interest, right? Individual happiness as the ultimate goal.
So it's not just about breaking free, but actively pursuing what fulfills you as an individual.
Exactly. She believed everyone has unique potential and a moral duty to reach it, to really become who they're meant to be. And for women especially who have historically been denied those opportunities, well, her message is powerful stuff.
Now, I know Rand can be a bit controversial. Some people argue that her focus on individual achievement ignores the need for, systemic change.
That's a valid point. Her emphasis on personal responsibility sometimes overshadows those very real barriers that many women face.
Yeah.
But you can't deny the impact she's had. Even her critics admit that her work has inspired tons of women to embrace their ambition, to challenge the status quo.
It's like she gives them permission to say, this is me, this is what I want, and I'm not waiting for anyone's approval.
Exactly. Owning your narrative. Going after your goals no matter the obstacles. And this idea of defying expectations and achieving great things, it actually pops up in a lot of other empowering quotes from women throughout history.
Oh, really? Okay, tell me more. How do those connect to this Ayn Rand energy?
Well, there's this awesome quote by Malala Yousafzai. When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful.
Wow, yeah. It's like, not only will I not be silenced, I'm going to use my voice to speak for those who can't. And she risked her life for that. And it really makes you think about the courage it takes to stand up for what you believe in, especially when it's that dangerous.
Absolutely. And it totally connects to Rand's idea about how individual action can spark bigger change. Malala didn't wait for someone to fix it. She just acted.
Became a symbol of hope for girls everywhere.
Exactly.
So inspiring. And speaking of courage, didn't Elizabeth Cady Stanton have something to say about that too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. She was a huge figure in the women's suffrage movement. And she once said, courage is it's a habitus, a habit, a virtue. You get it by courageous act. It's like you learn to swim by swimming. You learn courage by couraging.
Love that. So practical. It's not something you're born with or without. You build it up by actually being courageous.
Yeah, like a muscle you got to exercise.
Yeah.
And for women back then, fighting for the right to vote, that courage.
Yeah.
Essential. They faced so much opposition, ridicule, even jail time.
But they kept going.
Knew their actions were paving the way for future generations.
And that totally resonates with Rand.
Yeah.
Right? It's that same, I'm not going to accept the status quo energy.
Absolutely. It's almost like passing a torch,
Huh.
Each generation building on the courage of the ones before. And that brings up a cool point. Women's empowerment isn't just personal achievement. It's also about shaking things up, like those societal norms we've been talking about.
Oh, for sure. And this quote just popped into my head. It's by Laurel Thatcher Ulrich. Well-behaved women seldom make history. Boom. Mic drop.
Right. Makes you rethink what a good woman even means. It's like she's saying, to make a difference, you got to shake things up.
Totally. And again, such a Rand vibe,
Yeah.
Like having that guts to forge your own path, even if you got to break a few rules along the way.
You said it. It's realizing that real change often means pushing boundaries, not letting society box you in.
Sometimes got to be a little bad to do good, right?
I love that. And there's another quote that goes with that whole breaking free from roles thing. It's by Diane Marie Child. A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform.
Ooh, that's beautiful. It shifts the focus from what society wants us to be to, like, the power we already have inside.
Yeah, recognizing that we're not defined by these expectations, but by our ability to create, to care, to transform.
Like, those limitations are fake. We can erase them, draw our own lines.
Exactly. And that goes back to Rand's self-reliance, creating your own destiny. It's about taking that power and using it to shape your life, to shape the world.
Okay, so we've got defying expectations, courage, inner power.
Mm-hmm.
But what about support? Like community? Is that in our quote collection at all?
It is, and Bell Hooks said it perfectly. Feminism is for everybody.
Ooh, yeah.
It reminds us that empowerment isn't about one gender being on top.
It's about a more equal world for everyone.
Exactly. And that takes allyship. Men and women working together to change those systems that keep things unequal.
Like a rising tide lifts all boats. We help empower women. Everyone benefits.
Oh, absolutely. And on that note about strength, there's this Eleanor Roosevelt quote that's so perfect. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water.
Uh-huh. Love that. So true. You only find out how strong you are when things get tough.
Yeah. It connects back to Stanton's idea about courage, too, right?
Yeah.
Facing those challenges, that's how we build resilience.
It's like we have this hidden strength that comes out when we need it most. And doesn't that bring us right back to Ayn Rand, that unshakable belief in yourself, not letting circumstances limit you? It's what's helped women overcome so much and achieve amazing things.
You got it. It's a reminder that even when things are hard, we choose how we respond. We can let it break us, or we can use it to become even stronger.
Okay, wow. We covered a lot. Defying expectations, courage, inner power, allyship, and resilience. Feels like we're getting a real sense of what women's empowerment looks like.
We are, but there's one more quote I want to bring in. Simone de Beauvoir said, "One is not born, but rather becomes a woman."
Whoa, that's deep. What do you think she meant by that? Especially in the context of what we've been talking about.
Well, I think it challenges that idea that being a woman is just a biological thing. Like, it's set from birth. She's saying it's a process. It's about self-discovery and creation, shaped by our experiences.
So not fitting into some mold, but finding our own way to be a woman.
Right. And that idea of becoming ties back to everything we've discussed. Challenging limits, owning our power, writing our own stories. It's about knowing we're not limited by these preset roles. We get to create our own version of womanhood.
And that's super empowering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lets us break free from those old-fashioned constraints and just be ourselves.
Totally. It's about recognizing that there's no one way to be a woman. It's complex, it's always changing, and it's unique to each person.
This has been such a great conversation. I feel like we've only just begun to explore all these amazing ideas.
I know, right? There's so much more to unpack here.
Well, lucky for us, we have another part of this deep dive. Be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll keep exploring these empowering quotes and all the different aspects of what it means to be a powerful woman. Back again. It's really amazing how all these different women across time and backgrounds come together in this, tapestry of what it means to be powerful.
It is. We've got these themes of defiance, courage, resilience, and now I feel like we're moving into how that power is seen both by women themselves and the world.
Ooh. Okay, I like where this is going. Which quote sparked that thought?
There's one from Ashley Rickards that stood out to me. She said, "I've realized that being a powerful woman is much more about your own self-development than about trying to exert power over someone else."
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Especially these days where girl boss can sometimes feel like it's all about climbing the ladder no matter what. This reminds us that real power comes from inside.
Exactly. Personal growth, self-awareness, those inner qualities that make you strong, no matter what life throws at you.
It's like saying, my power isn't about how many people I manage or how much money I make. It's about how I am in the world, how I treat others, how I stay true to myself.
And that kind of strength that comes from facing hard times, right?
For sure. It reminds me of this quote by Steve Maraboli. The strength of a woman is not measured by the impact that all her hardships in life have had on her, but the strength of a woman is measured by the extent of her refusal to allow those hardships to dictate her and who she becomes.
Wow, that's powerful. Life is tough, but we get to choose whether those hard times define us or whether they make us even stronger.
Totally. Ayn Rand would approve, wouldn't she? That whole who's gonna stop me vibe.
Yeah.
This is like level 2 of that. Not just refusing to be stopped, but using those roadblocks to your advantage.
It fits with Simone de Beauvoir's idea of becoming a woman, too. Like, we aren't just stuck as the sum of our struggles. We can learn, we can change, we can come out of those challenges even better than before.
So we've got inner strength, self-development, resilience. But what about actually using that power to make things happen in the world? Are there any quotes about, like, taking charge?
This one's pretty straight to the point. It's by Nancy Rathburn. The problem is not that women are powerful, but that men think they are not.
Ooh, I like that one. So simple, but so true. It's not about women needing to prove anything. It's about the world catching up, recognizing the power that's already there.
It's like she's saying, we've got this. Time for everyone else to get on board.
And on the topic of taking charge, there's one last quote I got to mention. Roseanne Barr said, "The thing women have yet to learn is nobody gives you power. You just take it."
Love how direct she is. And she's right. We can't wait for someone to say, okay, here's your power. We got to go grab it, own it, and use it to make the changes we want to see.
Full circle back to Ayn Rand again. Don't ask for permission. Just decide it's yours and go for it.
Exactly. And that goes for everything. Our jobs, our relationships, our communities. It's knowing you have the ability to shape your own life.
Wow. This has been such a ride. From Ayn Rand's "Nobody's Gonna Stop Me" to exploring all these aspects of what makes a woman powerful.
Courage, resilience, self-belief, taking action, it's all connected, isn't it?
It really is. So everyone listening, I hope this sparked some new ideas for you. Maybe even lit a fire. Remember, empowerment isn't a gift. It's something you build, you claim, you carry with you.
It's a journey, not a finish line. And there's no right way to do it. It's about finding what speaks to you, what lights you up, and using that to make your mark on the world.
That's beautiful. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We rise from the shadows and dance in the light, unlocking our power, igniting the night. In this deep dive we find strength in our voice, every woman a leader with dreams and a choice. Stand tall and proud, we're breaking the mold, with hearts full of fire, our stories get told. Together we soar on wings wide and free. The deep dive calls to you, come join and you'll see. With passion we conquer, each mountain we climb, an unstoppable force in rhythm and rhyme. In this podcast we shine like stars on the rise, uniting our spirits, breaking the ties. Stand tall and proud, we're breaking the mold, with hearts full of fire, our stories get told. Together we soar on wings wide and free. The deep dive calls to you, come join and we'll see. We conquer, each mountain we climb, an unstoppable force in rhythm and rhyme. In this podcast we shine like stars on the rise, uniting our spirits, breaking the ties. Stand tall and proud, we're breaking the mold, with